Hey, say hi. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Well, let's just see if anybody's bored enough tonight to pop over and catch this just out of the blue live stream where I just want to talk about a couple rules. Nothing big, nothing major, just a couple things to go over with the game into the Whirlpool.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
And we'll watch you unbox.
Actually, opposite. Box.
Oh, a box, my bad. You shall rebox.
I shall rebox and ship.
Well, while we're waiting, tell me what you're boxing up to send.
I had a nice, significant sized bunch of games to send over, some RPG stuff, role playing stuff, an ASL thing that I have a new version of that I'm sending. Red Barricades, an old Partisans box, some old boards. Alsace 1945, It Never Snows, Day of Days, Montelimar, Beyond the Rhine, things like that.
Really, you're going to say you're going to get rid of? Okay, all right. All right. I'm going to take a guess here.
All right.
OCS. You're going to keep the last Blitzkrieg, right?
Last Blitzkrieg, Korea, and Sicily are still on my shelf.
Right. So I think I made my decision last night, and actually, when I was talking to Devin last time on the phone. I'm probably going to keep the last Blitzkrieg and I'll get rid of all the rest of them.
Wait. BCS?
Yeah, OCS. I'm not sorry, not Blitzkrieg Legend.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Really? Not even East Front?
No, I think I'm gonna let them all go. Just OCS. It just isn't. I think a couple people I've been seeing talk about it. It's just too many games coming too fast.
So you'll stick with the East Front series from GMT then?
That and with BCS going down the East Front Road. Those of y'all that are popping in and say, hey, so we know who we're talking at. Talking in the comments so we know. We're gonna talk a few rules here for this into the Whirlpool. Give you all some ups on this game and how some of this stuff functions. And hopefully I get it all right. So,
but first, we were talking about games we're selling or shipping out.
Yep, or getting rid of. So I might be putting my DAC up here shortly. So,
ooh, that could be good.
Yep. Let it go. It's not DAC 2, but I think it has all the update components in it for that. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of cool.
It's a big deal.
So.
Yep. So just cleaning off the shelves some. I see a few more I could maybe do, but then it's time to start playing them to see if I'm keeping them. So.
Right. Well, I hope Derek Ritter. I hope he got my email for my changing my address to ship that game. The ASL.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to. I haven't. I haven't heard actually what's going on there. Actually,
we got 5 on here. Jump. Good to see you on here though, buddy. We're gonna throw down a couple rules here and just say we're just trying to let a few people get in. Kind of a spur of the moment stream. The guys were just chit chatting on Facebook, and I said, you know what, I want to do this.
What do you? I'm curious what people are doing. I'm packing boxes. Jeff's going to talk rules. What are you doing, Jumpmaster? Whoever else is on.
Hopefully you're not in a plane and in a stack getting ready to jump. So.
Yeah, that's right.
You hear me okay? Do I sound okay on this?
No, you sound perfect. I was wondering if I sound right because my mic's way up on the table.
I threw that standalone microphone out. Thing was junk. And that's my camera above my monitor this is going out on. So get me a highlighter pen. At the farm and stuff. Oh, you ain't too far from me. You just a rock's throw away. I'm in the you're a little bit more. I'm in the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. So all right, into the Whirlpool, the remake, the Redux, the rebuild. What was those movies they made with Keanu Reeves? The Matrix.
Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions.
Ray, Paul, how y'all doing? Good to see you guys popping on here. Oh, you got on the table now. Good, Ray. You can bump heads with me here on some of the notes I'm going to talk about. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it, man. Paul was the one that straightened my lame ass out on, I was saying Spain for the Vimero game, and it's Portugal. I was all jacked up. I need help, people. Give me that stuff. Okay, all right. Spencer, okay, gotcha. I don't get out much into the hills of West Virginia, and it's a beautiful country. I just don't, there's not a golf course within two hours. I usually don't drive any farther than that. So, all right, well, let's discuss a little bit of this thing. I'm just going to go over a couple things with it. First off, we did the unboxing, canvas map. I'm okay with the counters. The fact that the one side of the counter is one shade of a color, and then the back side, when they're battle worn or reduced or whatever, is another shade. Or when they're reduced is another shade. The older game, the leader markers, I don't have any more, Andrew, but I think the leader markers were the same size as the unit markers or the unit counters. And then you had your small disruption level markers that went on those and stuff like that. And now in this one, of course, the leaders here and the informational counters are all squares. So I got to think about it, I said, well, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And quite frankly, I think it's a good thing, because this will keep you from thinking that when this unit gets disrupted, or he's in fire combat and the formation takes a disruption, the fact that you see this big counter, you'll know, oh, that doesn't go there. You put it on the formation commander. So I think that might be a plus with that to keep you from making that mistake. The smell is gone. So I think I've learned my trick with Blue Panther games. Open the bag, pull everything out, and let it lay around the room for about 3 or 4 days.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so. All right, so I think what I want to do is I want to chit-chat about fire here. Now, there's only one chart you use in the game, pretty much. Everything's on one side or the other. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to zoom in and do all that because I got my camera down close.
That look pretty good, though.
Yeah, they are clean. They put the morale test table on both sides, so that's pretty cool. And the fire combat's really not, it's not that hard to pull off. Jester, what's up, buddy? How you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you. Well, I popped over now to see what you're doing over there. 3 times, Ray, you've played this thing. Let's see. Redone my military room, and my lighting is crap. I get you jump. I go through that. It's hard to make out the men on the counters. Yeah, it is, and you really got to get in. And one of the key features to this one too is let me pull a different counter up here. Let's see. All right, so this is the, I don't know if y'all be able to see, I don't have much lighting turned on here, but these are the 11th U.S. form. This is the regiment.
Yeah, those are hard to see.
Yeah. Well, what do you notice looking at those 2 counters? What's the one difference you see from one to the other?
The flags on one.
Yep. That's your command. That's considered like your command unit for that regiment.
Okay.
That's like the
main game thing a lot of times.
Yeah. That's like the main unit in the regiment or whatever, So they're I mean, I'm not having a problem looking here. I mean, I can definitely read the white standout text in the dark background a lot better than I could on the original games ones. And I also just noticed too that when you flip the counter over to its reduced side, looks to me like the counter is a flatter color. It's definitely there's like a lot more smoke around them. And of course, their freaking veteranship level or whatever is red instead of a black number and a white circle. It goes to a red number or a red circle with a white number on it. So that kind of helps. Ray, honestly, I'm not totally bad with it. I've actually had a couple fires that that started at 90%. I guess it depends on how many actions you use for the additional volley. I got a couple rules things that just a couple that I'm making notes to for myself that I want to get clarified. Well, actually, Herman's already answered one of them for me. So my question is artillery being able to volley fire? I didn't think that they could, but they can. as long as they have the actions. So what is the stinking number? Why do I forget this of all things when I start to play the game, or when I start the video and I've been playing the game?
I know that's how it goes.
Okay, their experience level. So there's really no fire strength on the counter. This big number in the corner is their experience level, and you've only got 2 weapons types for either the cannons or your infantry, and that's smooth or rifled, I think it is. And they'll have an S next to their weapon, i.e., like this one, or next to their experience, they'll have the letter S if they're a smoothbore type. So that's it. That's the only, because when it comes to their ranges, the rifled muskets can shoot out to 5, and the smoothbore muskets can shoot only out to 3. So if you have a rifle, you can shoot farther out. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about that one too. And Jester wants to know, Todd, how's it going for you, buddy?
Oh, it's going good, man. I'm just packing boxes to ship out, selling some games, lightening the shelves a little bit. You get it.
Which I got to send yours out. That you reminded me of that now that I got it. Okay, so movement. We'll go and hit on that one first. So they added something in this one here that I don't remember from the first one, and it's called regrouping or redress. Okay, so if in the original game, if you moved through, like in GBACW, we call it disrupting terrain. So like in this game, be woods, getting over a rock wall or a fence or something like that, or through a stream, maybe like that. You would build disruption. Well, they've added this one called redress. Now, your unit's experience level will determine how many actions, and depending on the state of the unit, or other little things, how many actions a unit might get. So this unit here is he's going to be a crack unit. So he'll get 5 actions. Okay. So you can use those actions during your activation phase. You use those actions to execute actions, whether it be firing or shooting or other things. But the one thing you cannot do is so you can fire and shoot in an action cycle, but you got to do all of one before the other, or vice versa. So if you plan on firing and shooting, you either need to firing and move. You need to fire and then you can move, or you can move and then you can fire. You can't do a move, fire, move, or a fire, move, fire. You can't do that. All right. So you can also, in this game, you only get 1 fire action, but if you have 5 actions that you can use in a phase, you can fire 1 time, and then you can get you can add what they call volley, which is applying the extra actions you have to that firepower. So what Ray was talking about there a minute ago about the 30% base fire. So if these guys here shooting rifled muskets at point blank range, they're going to start on the chart at a 30%. All right. I'll explain to you what that means in a minute. If they're shooting at point blank range, which is 1 hex. So if you're out to battle range, which is 2 and 3 hexes, they're going to start at 20%. And if they're extreme range, which is 4 or 5 hexes, they're going to start at 10% base. I want to say that somewhere in miniature gaming over the years, some game systems have that kind of system, don't they? Where it's percentage based or starting based, whatever. Come on, mini player. I know you know some.
I think so. So you're saying as you take hits or something?
Well, no. So if you're doing the firing, because you're going to be using a 10 and 1 dice.
Okay.
You're going to start your 2 hit is going to start at 30%.
So 30. Okay.
Right. 30. Yeah. Okay. And then you're going to get additions for for example, this unit here is a 5 experience. He's a crack unit. He's going to get 5 action points or 5 actions. Yeah. Action points.
Okay.
So he's not going to do anything. He's not going to move. He's just going to unload massive volley fire to these units in front of him.
Okay. Sounds good.
Huh? What's that? Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
So he's going to burn 1 action to do the fire. All right. And he's at 1 hex away. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just going to say hexes. They say it's called spaces, but he's one space away. So he's point blank range, and he's a rifled musket. So point blank range is 1. He's 1 hex point blank. He's going to start initially at 30%. Then you're going to go down through the modifiers. So per additional volley, Well, I said he had 5 action points. It costs 1 to fire. So he's going to use his other 4. Let's say he has nothing. He has no penalties right now. He's still got all 5 actions.
Yep.
He's going to add the other 4 to volley.
Okay.
So for each action he adds, for volley at point blank range, he adds another 15%.
Yeah, there are miniature games that do. I mean, not by percentage, but yeah, you can spend points to make your shots better and stuff. Yep.
Okay, so this guy here just went from 30% up to 90%.
Okay.
All right, and you're rolling 100 dice, a 10 and a 1. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, Alan, how you doing, buddy? All right, so then you're going to assess the other modifiers: target unit in the woods, target behind a stone wall, target units in the wheat field, grain field, orchard, or farm, or you're not in formation integrity, which the first Texas is. They're side by side. They are touching. Okay, so they have their integrity. The firing or the target unit is going to ground. Nobody's going to ground here, which means they've hit the deck. There's no obscured line of sight because they're right in front of each other. Now, disruption level. So we said this guy is now starting at 90%, but his formation has a disruption level of 3, as you can see by that marker right there. All right, that means he suffered some damage or fatigue, whatever you want to call it. Everything gets accounted for with disruption. So for each one of those disruption points, he drops 5%. So he was at 90. So now we're going to drop 15%. He's down to 75 or 75. So now his 2-hit number is 75. All right. Is the firing unit battle worn? No, he is not. Is it plunging fire where you're shooting downhill? No, he's shooting uphill. And if it were artillery, you would get a bonus for canister fire. So there, you have it. That's you've done all your modifiers. So we went from 90 to 75%. Okay, so now you're going to roll your dice. All right, and I'm going to roll, and I rolled it's a Confederate shooting, so we're going to say I rolled 56, okay? So I'm going to come over here to my fire combat hit, and we know that 75, let me write that down so I don't forget, 75 was the starting to hit percentage or number.
Yep.
We rolled a 56. All right, normal hit. Dice roll is less than or equal to the modified 2-hit percentage. We rolled a 56. It definitely is. So what do we do? Here, I'm going to get these out of the way so y'all can see.
Hey, this is just GTS, man, trying to roll under your hit value.
Yeah, but now here's the difference.
Oh, here we go.
So this guy got a hit. So you drop a hit marker on him. So you're going to do all this stuff first before you you're going to do all of the formation's actions, firing and stuff before you work or before you result these things. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's say that instead of a 56, let's say we rolled a 26. Okay. Even better. Murderous fire hit. The dice roll is less than or equal to half of the modified 2-hit percentage. So we said 75.
All right. You gotta do some math here.
Yeah. And we rolled a 26. That's definitely less than half. All right.
Yeah.
So instead of a hit, this guy has a murderous fire hit.
Ooh, that sounds terrible.
Now here's the trick. At this range, murderous fire hits for smooth bore hit at point blank range is also treated as a critical hit. This was just a rifled musket. If this had been a smooth bore musket, that murderous fire, you would add a critical hit on top of that.
Dang.
So he's going to suffer double the penalty.
Okay.
All right. So in this game here, when you apply a casualty, a fire comp, they accumulate.
Okay.
So, all right. And then once you've done all your fire, then you'll come back to the units and you'll apply. All right. The critical hits first. So he's going to either take a disruption. I'm sorry. The murderous fires first. He's going to have to take a casualty. So he would flip. That's a cannon. That's a bad example. I shouldn't use the cannon. Well, yeah, so he would flip to his battle worn or to his reduced side. And then you would apply the critical hit, which is, so the critical hit, that's the one exception there if it was a smooth bore. The other way a critical hit applies is if you roll doubles, like 22, 33, or 44, then you would apply the critical hit, the critical hit also. So there's only 2 ways you're going to get that critical hit. But like I say, you would apply the murderous fire, which is casualty, And then the critical hit is either a 1 disruption or you withdraw 1. So if this guy were infantry, he would either withdraw or he would suffer another disruption. Like I say, you don't put the disruption. That's a bad example. I'm usually say this infantry. You don't put the disruption on the unit. It goes underneath the formation commander. Okay. Now there's some confusion in this game, and the confusion is, hold on, put these back on here so I don't forget what I did. The confusion I'm having, I need to go back and do some more reading, is formation. So in the rule book, it says that, so the first Texas itself is a formation. Each one of the 4, what they called stands in the last game, because there's 4 stands that make up the first Texas. The stands each one of those are called units. So when you're disrupting the formation, I'm wanting to put the disruption markers on the first Texas. But you don't. You put them under the leader, the brigade leader, which is Robertson's got all of them. So I'm wondering, because I can't find whether that's in the other game. That's what you did. You put the disruption levels on, but it doesn't make sense to me, because like I said, with these disruption counters being that big, you can tell that they were designed to go under the leader. So, and that's how, and like I say though, but your leaders can do what they call reorganization, as long as there's formation integrity. Like you can burn 2 actions to do a reorganization and remove a step. So remove a step of disruption.
So the confusion is whether you put the disruption on the unit or the leader.
Well, whether you put it on the formation or unit, or you put it on the leader, and they're designed to go under the leader. And but I think they might need a little clarification on formation, unit, and then is the whole brigade the parent formation? And Ray, since you're already getting into that, if you take a look at that, you can come up with what the actual thing is. I need to just go ahead and I probably just need to hit Herman up about that one, because I wish I would have kept the other game instead of sending it to Andrew, because this one came out so fast, and just to see it, so I can try to remember how that happened. I might have the rules ready to one, but yeah. So you're going to mark the leader with the disruption. Once the brigade gets enough disruption, now a stand jump is 1 unit in the regiment. So the 4 stands for the first Texas are the units. They're called units in this game, each one of those individual stands. And then the formation is the first Texas. So yeah, but and like I say though, you can remove reduction. There's certain rules for that, 3 spaces away from any enemy unit, burn so many. And depending on what orders you have, it tells you on the chart here what you can do on that bottom chart there. So if you're in assault mode, you can charge. That's the other thing too. Now these guys are in their point blank range, and Robertson's brigade is all in assault mode. When the charge phase comes, these guys can all charge. Now there's another caveat to this, because they're stacking in this game. The top unit does the charging. His experience level is what gets used. But if he's got another unit with him, he's going to get a percentage plus to the attack as support, because he's got a follow-up unit going in there with him. So that's an addition. I say the biggest key, one of the things you really got to watch in this game is you've got to keep your formation integrity. There are penalties to it. There's things you can't do if you don't have it. And when you're doing assaults and you're moving forward and running people out of a space that you're trying to take, you're going to break your formation integrity. Like if you look here, 15th Georgia is not connected to any of these guys. So formation integrity is lost with them, while everybody else up here has it. All right. So it's going to take me a couple, I think, to master with the new rules. Herman did alert me. He said, this is going to be different. Now, what's my opinion of this difference? Do I think it's worse, or do I think it's better? I think it's perfect. I think they've got this. So, all right, let's take this. Let's just forget the old tattered flags, the old original, the Wheatfield one. Just completely eliminate that, because we're not going to see that one again. if there's others from this going forward, this is what we're going to see. So let's take this as we know that most games will get somewhere online, they get errata. Okay. And maybe there can be, those of us now that there's a bunch of us, I know a lot of you guys got the game. Some of y'all are playing them. Maybe amongst all of us as we start to go through these, because these rules are not heavy. They're not a burden to read. Okay. Maybe as we start to find things and we get this stuff back to Herman, and he sees that maybe some adjustments can be made. Nothing serious yet. I just think that if you read the reorganization rules for this, that's where I kind of got a problem with, who or where does the actions come from? But your leaders, these leader units, these commanders, they do have actions. So, but that talks about you must have formation integrity. Well, okay. Is it the formation integrity of this formation? If these are the guys if I'm trying to remove disruption, or does the whole brigade have to have formation integrity? Because if right now they don't. So it sounds to me like under that rule, he would not be able to do any disruption recovery. So, or reorganization. So I don't know. I think that one needs to be cleaned up a little bit. And maybe I'll pop a question over to Herman about that one right there. So, well, I mean, Jester, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think if they errata this game, it wouldn't be much because they've already minimized, the weaponry, the ranges. I think the adjustment chart is just fine. I have done some when I was goofing around, I did some bayonet combat just to see how it worked. Obviously, I'm going to be getting to that here when I do an assault. I don't want to sit here and walk through that because the process is actually pretty much the same as your fire. It's got your percentages to start and what modifiers, and then there's your chart: murderous bayonet, catastrophic bayonet, critical hit. So, and then your morale table down here, which is kind of actually intense when you got to roll for morale because there's so many things. There's your dice rolls, and then you've got what the results are for them and everything. Because I'm in the middle of an activation, I haven't had to do anything yet that I needed a morale check on. But that's another one. Make sure you read the morale stuff here too. All right, so let me catch up here. Let's see. Relatively, Alan, you're still reading the rules. Cool. Good. Because I know you'll post some videos, so I'll see that. Ray, I think that's it, right, Ray, because all the counters, I mean, you guys can't see them. There's quite a few informational counters for disruption, but I mean, if you play the full shebang of this thing with all the new units they added in, expanding this, there's a lot of counters that are going to be on this map. I got stuck on the reduction thing. Does each first Texas stand have 5 actions? Okay, yeah, so each unit has actions. So all 4 of the Texas units right here, each one of them has actions. That's the way I translate. I didn't see anything else that was any difference. Who pays the cost to reduce disruption? That's the one I need to pose with Herman because it says in the reorganization rules, it's the command unit, the leader is the one that does it. He's the one that has to spend the time. But that's why I was confused about the formation integrity because you're not putting disruptions on these units or formations. You're putting them on the leader. For him to reduce that disruption, the way it translates to me is this whole parent thing has to be in formation integrity. But then again, there's that word formation. First Texas is a formation. Yeah, and David Langley's got it. Page 4 explains that about the formation as a regiment or a battery. So, I got Smith's battery up here. He's got 2 units. That's his formation. So, but yeah, I think the reorganization rule needs to be maybe just, it's probably one of these things where it needs one sentence to fix it. So, and Todd, if you've been saying anything, you've been muted.
I haven't. I've been loud, so I've been just listening in.
Yeah.
So this sounds like it's got a little bit of complex there. Just needs some clarifications.
Yeah. Collins camp. I did read it, but I haven't done anything yet because I haven't moved anything along any of these trails or roads or whatever you want to call them, these farm trails or whatever. So I don't want to answer that one. I will look it up. Like I said, I haven't had to use it. I guess column movement 2 out in the open areas would be fine too. But I do know units can move together. I do know that, which I don't remember seeing that in the original game too. You'll probably hit that rule and be able to explain it to me before I do. So, yeah. Look, I'm not gonna lie, and we were talking about it in the stream the other night. This system. One of these days I'm going to ask Herman why it never got going. We were just talking about this just in this area alone. All right. So we'll throw in the peach orchard, all right, the Stony Hill, the wheat field, Houck's Ridge and Devil's Den, little round top, big round top, the Valley of Death, Plum Run, whatever. You could do 20 scenarios right here in this area with this game system easily. And then just think of the other things. Can you imagine how many scenarios you could do on the first day's fight? Or the scenarios you could do around Culp's Hill, or the scenarios you could do up on Oak Ridge on the first day's fight, or when Early crashes the right flank, or when Rhodes pops down in the valley coming from up north, or scenarios you could do chasing through Gettysburg, or East Cemetery Hill, or Cemetery Hill. Hell, can you imagine what this game could do with Pickett's Charge? Boy, wouldn't that be interesting? Try to keep that freaking cohesion in a scale of this type of game. And I don't see why you couldn't. Grant, I think if you were going to do Pickett's Charge with this, you'd have to have a pretty good size map, I would say. Maybe, I bet you could pull it off within 4 of these sheets like this. But boy, the spread would be phenomenal. So, and yeah, you're right, David. Napoleonics too. Oh, you don't know how much I want to do about Napoleonics right now, but I just can't. So bad. But I think this game. If this thing doesn't make a positive run, something's wrong, because I think they've got a wonderful little system here, very tactical level. Do we have anything other than Rebel Yell that would be tighter than this? Not that I'm aware of. And Rebel Yell's an old game that you're not going to see that remade. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is of current game titles. This has got to be the smallest scale that I've seen. So unless anybody knows something I don't. Yeah, I agree, Alan. Definitely. Full scale Borodino, that would be interesting. Yeah, and yeah, as I'm saying, well, and we were talking about it. I could walk out my front door here where I live, and I could come up with 20 to 30 skirmishes or little small scale battles that you could do in this system easily. No doubt in my mind. Antietam definitely endless. Yeah, that'd be cool. The Napoleonics, that would be kind of cool to see this stuff. Does he have any Napoleonics?
Who's that?
Herman Lutman.
Oh, I don't know.
I have to do some digging on that. The cornfield for sure. Endless possibilities of expansions. Few small Antietam scenario. Oh, the bridge. Imagine doing the bridge, lower bridge, or the cornfield, sunken road. Any of that stuff up in there.
I asked this on the stream. Now that you've played a little bit, and maybe someone else has played, I can't see the comments. Could it be a bigger battle? Like, could you use a 20 by 24 sheet of paper, or a 36 by 20, or whatever?
Well, I don't see why not.
I just didn't know if it kind of blow out the scale and make it, unmanageable or something.
Well, I think so let's say if somebody took this and decided to do, they've almost, I'm seeing, let's talk about the second day. Longstreet had 2 of the 3 divisions. Anderson from the 3rd Corps, he pitched in on the back end of it. But the primary fight was McLaws and Hood. And that's 8 brigades that they had. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This game has 5 of the 8 brigades already in it that's going to be played on this one map.
Okay.
So you could just expand this a little bit farther. Maybe, I guess out that way. You wouldn't have to go too far. You'd have to go a little bit more north. I mean, if you were going to do the full second day fight, this thing looks like it needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or maybe 8 more maps of this size to cover the
I
whole
just
area.
wonder if the rules can handle it.
I think the rules would be fine. Matter of fact, I like the disruption system as opposed to casualty tracking.
Yeah.
I like that. Now I'm a little curious about being able to recover. So I think if I remember right, if you eliminate a unit, he can be recovered to his battle worn side, which would be straggler recovery. Yeah, he did 1870 Mets, so yeah. But you can recover an onboard reduced unit back to full strength, which would, I don't know. That's an interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, there's no strengths in here. It's your experience level. You're either a crack, veteran, seasoned green, or you're raw. So, I mean, Viva la Emperor Herman does have a Waterloo game. Okay. Yeah, you're punished for bad formations because, well, you were punished for not having your men in proper formations. The cornfield comes to mind as units entered in column and were punished. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he did the Mets. Was it Mets 1870 or whatever it is, the Franco-Prussian game? No, Herman doesn't yet, but he is working on one. Okay, cool. Yeah, Camp. One of these days, you and I are going to have a little chat. We're going to talk about that designer thing because you'd be amazed at the conversations I've had recently with people that are filling me with, "Hey, you need to do this. You need to do this." But my problem is I've got so many Civil War systems. It would be one of those I have to pick and prod from all the different systems of what I felt was good and maybe manipulate it to what. Yeah, you know me though. I'm GBACW is it. I don't know what that's my thing. Although I will be jumping on this rock of Chickamauga, so that's gonna come up. Hey, 20 of you guys on here saying hey tonight for just a pop-up video on a Thursday night. Nobody must be enjoying Monday Night Football, so I thought maybe I'd take
Thursday
it
night
on.
football.
Huh?
Or Thursday night football.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Thursday Night Football, the Jets and Patriots. I was watching it. It was 14-3, and I said, no, let's go live. So, but I needed to get this out because, look, I'm telling y'all right now, you're going to see a lot of things show up on my channel that you'd be like, I didn't know Hexy played that. But keep your eyes open because, and I'm hoping, I don't know, it might be a few months, but I hope to pop some things on here that are going to blow your freaking minds. I really do. So, but so those of y'all that have this, just by first glance of the game, if you haven't, Ray, I know that you're spinning it around a little bit. I know Sawyer, you say you're reading it and stuff. What just on first looks of the game, what do you all think about it? Because I think I only have a couple other games that have counters like this size. I know that Murfreesboro game one did, and God, that was such a bust for me.
What was?
The Murfreesboro game that I set up and had counters like this size.
Oh yeah, what was that based on?
I don't even remember. Come on, I spun it for a couple of turns and said nope.
Well, they can't all be winners for you.
This, well, you know how let's the SCS collection, Herman's Blind Swords, the massive build on that because he's had other designers use the system to create more games. This is another one right here. This is another one. So, Red, how you doing, buddy? So Herm just published Viva la Emperor. Napoleonic Blind Swords is working its way to the front of Herm's workload. Good. Excellent. So we're going to do Napoleonic and the Blind Sword. Are they going to call it the same thing? Oh, Viva la Emperor. I'm sorry. Okay. That's good to hear. Looks great. Next up on my list, I need to get yeah, well, whatever you do, Alan, don't stop the GBACW Playdate stuff that you've got going on, please.
Oh, is Stig on here?
No, Alan, Camp Sawyer.
Okay.
The ALAN version. Fred Manzo from a lot of those games that are Blind Swords. He's on here right now. So
Well, yeah, I mean, this one seems like you could do the same thing and find people who want to design them. You could just get a bunch of designers going after it, and you crank some out.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. You take all the Civil War battles, and I think I don't because I don't do the research, that a lot of like Fred and these guys do. But I am aware that Gettysburg, for some reason, is we could probably pinpoint what the reason is, but the accountability, the record accountability for this seems to be so much better. So,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of battles, a lot of details. Oh boy, what was I going to say? I mean, what did this game cost? Anybody know? I don't remember the
what was the price on this?
Yeah.
I don't. Well, Fred was the development on this. Fred, what was the cost? What was the retail on this? Anybody remember?
Probably what?
Sorry, I got mine as a review copy. Paul, I do not. I know what you're talking about, but I do not. What's Stig's name again? Bayonet and
Swords and Bayonet.
Swords and Bayonets. And what were you saying about that?
Well, the GMT update came out. You know how they've been updating? Like they've had like 5 tiers of updating, like just beginning design to, going to a printer tomorrow or something.
Right.
Well, his and a bunch of others. Last month were in the, I don't know, in the queue in final proofing or whatever. I don't know what the thing was. I'm not getting exact, but there's a huge chunk of games that they just had a paragraph saying with production, I don't know, just with their production times and queues and stuff. They're like, we have to, they didn't feel comfortable saying that bottom tier. They had like 3 tiers now of, printing next month, printing next quarter, and printing whenever.
Right.
And then his was one of those that wasn't even listed because it was a part of that paragraph that just said, we've had some games that we're just trying to figure out the queue or whatever. So check your GMT update or go to their website to see it. I just was bummed to see that because, we're looking forward to it coming out. It just means it's going to be a little while. It didn't say anything about the games aren't listed because they're canceled or it didn't say anything like that or that it's going to be months and years. It just said it was Kai's note. They're just trying to figure out their queue so they can report accurately, which I think is cool. So,
well, and and we've talked about it many times that Stigler's GBACW, that's going to be the great introductory to bring people in. And then, Dick and them are working on those the easier to play rules to maybe. And I was opposed to it initially, but I'm not opposed to it now because if it'll bring players into GBACW, then good. Maybe those people that come in under that rule set and want to learn the more detailed version, that'll be awesome too. So $60. It's not the skills that slow things down; it's the play testing and balancing. Yeah, I can imagine, Fred. I mean, because you can't. I mean, so I've always because I've never done this, so I've always wondered in the back of my head, when you're trying to balance games out, does the focus begin with what the victory conditions need to be to maybe provide a balance for the gameplay? Because I mean, you can create there's scenarios all day long in different battles that you can create where historically they were just blowouts by one side. I mean, I keep thinking of Grant at New Cold Harbor, just getting smoked. So I've always wondered, is that how you start? Do you start with the victory conditions to try to balance play? You can tape while you're unmuted.
it's pretty loud.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should have some of those GBACW guys on that you visited that one time. Have them on, talk about just about designing, and I mean, people have done it. We've had a lot of videos on it, but I don't know about GBACW specifically. Right. We had Stig on a little bit. He talked a little bit about it, but I don't know. It's just
we had Herman on the year review show, but I made it a point not to to even ask that kind of question. I figure he probably gets enough of that all year round anyhow. So.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
we'll drag Fred on here and we'll waterboard him on a chair and make him tell us everything. Well, guys, I hope some of whatever it was here I was able to spin at you tonight will, maybe help with some things. I will say this is I'm seeing 60 and 50 on this. It's worth that. It's if you like ACW and you want ACW at a different level, that's a good one. It's a really, really good one. And like I say, this thing here could be expanded on so much it's not funny. Yeah, this is a different breed. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything else out there like this. And I'm going to recommend it. I'm going to get A+, get it. So yeah, Bill, what a fella. I remember talking to him up at Gettysburg. He is, that guy is, I mean, he doesn't even, because I think I hit him up 2 or 3 times about stuff, and he never had to pick the book up. So he's a great one. He is the rules guru. He's right for GBACW. Recreating the history, then we tweak the rules and VPs until people have, okay, yeah, I get that. That makes sense, Fred. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I guess if you're playing a game, what's the use in making a game? And I know those games are out there where there's no possible way for one side to win. Why even do it? All right, so I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna try to watch the end of the football game. And Hexy got old, so I'm going to bed a lot sooner, it seems nowadays. But Todd's sending how many boxes you sending me there, Todd? 6, 7 boxes there on the
0. That'd be 0. I already sent you a box. You already got that box, actually.
Yeah, and I need to. I looked at that thing. Man, those are big counters in that box.
No, that stuff is really cool. Big counters. I like the data cards are nice, and yeah, I mean those data cards are like bricks.
Right. Oh, just for general knowledge. So, okay, so I wanted to get this up just to see how this played. This will probably come down because I got some things I need to do, but this one's going to come back around because I think I want to play the big game in this because it's going to be fun. I know it. I can't wait to see myself trying to maintain integrity playing this thing full scale. I got a BCS game set over there that I really want to play. Even though I played it before because I like the system. I've got the Napoleonic, the Vimero, the First Victories game, Glory and Empire. You're probably going to see Hexy go lock and load crazy here for a while because I got a whole bunch of things. Some stuff I'm sorry you're just not going to see, but I want to learn L&L Tactical, which I think Dev's going to kick in some time on that. I want to learn the WAW 85 stuff, which they're going to probably help me with that too. And I just got an email tonight that somebody's sending me something to review, something else. So I'm going to take a look at that. But hey, thank all y'all popped on here. We had like 20 on here for a minute for pop.
Oh, dang. That's pretty cool.
So everybody have a great evening. If you got this, this will be live. This will be posted as a video on the channel. Once you guys get your stuff out, like I say, Alan, I know you'll shoot video. You other guys, if you get it on there or play it, give me some comments. Come back to this feed and give me some comments. Let me know what you think. Or hey, if you got me in Facebook somewhere, send me a text, something. Let me know what you think. Send me a picture, screenshot. Post that crap in one of the Facebook channels so I can see what everybody's doing. All right, gang. We will talk to all y'all later. Thanks for joining tonight. See you.
See ya.